Hi traders, and welcome to this week's edition of the Keyzone Traders Trader of the Week. Now this week we're going to look at a day trading strategy in the DAX. Now if you've been watching my daily recap shows, you'll notice that there's a recurring theme and a recurring pattern that we look for to take advantage of in the market. But trading is a game of probabilities, which means not every single trade wins, and today we're going to look at a trade that was absolutely fine, but it was just a losing trade. So with that being said, let's go take a look. Hi traders, so this week's Trader of the Week is actually one that we took last Friday morning, and it's a trade and a setup and a pattern that you generally would have seen us taking quite often if you was watching our daily recap shows, which you can find on our Twitter account by following us on the link below in the box below. But what we look for is we look for areas in the market where stops are likely to be taken out and liquidity is going to be. So, and then we look for the reversal, and we look for that with the higher time frame context as well. So last Friday we were still very much bullish on the market, and we had quite a strong support zone around the 190 to 200 area. And this is what I was seeing in real time. So we did get this quite impulsive push down. However, as I've said, the higher time frame context was still very much the balls were still very much in control. So although there was on a shorter time frame the impulsive move, we were still happy with the higher time frame context, and it was slightly extended on the hourly chart as well. So moving through, we then got this signal. This purple line here was the previous day's low. And what we've done was we came down, we have held a very strong support zone, or a fairly strong support zone, closed back above it. We've just taken out the previous day's low, so we've taken out a few stops. We've probably triggered a few people into this trade as well who thought after this impulsive move the market's going to collapse. And then we've closed back above it now with a very strong candle. Now, if you've also been watching my Trade of the Week reviews, you'll see that I look for this sort of pattern quite often, where we see a move through a level and then like a strong close back above the level or below it if we're selling. But so we've got a pattern that we would normally look for. We enter on a break above. Because it's probably against this trend here, we would look for fairly aggressive risk management. But ultimately the setup is actually fine. Again, it's with the higher time frame context. If it wasn't with the higher time frame context, I would not be taking this trade. But it was, so it was okay. And we broke up slightly, and then we just failed. And we ended up within a few minutes coming down and taking our stop out there. So as you can see, we got triggered into the trade here, had 2 or 3 minutes where we were actually in some sort of profit, but we never got any momentum, and actually we fell away from the 8 EMA, and this candle here was the sign to show that this trade wasn't going to work. Unfortunately, we did take a full loss on this trade. But I just really wanted to show that because I keep going on and keep showing the patterns that work really well, I wanted to show you that actually sometimes the trade does set up, and there is a setup which is exactly the ones that we see and we look at every day, but they just lose because trading is a game of probabilities, and not every single trade will be a winner. So sometimes it will set up and sometimes it will lose. Actually, going on from that trade, we then had this setup here. It wasn't a reversal signal that we actually look for as per our rules, but this one actually did then go on to work, funnily enough. But yeah, the one that we actually took, where it took out the clear level at a support zone, what actually did fail. So like I say, I hope all I wanted to do with this one was show you that sometimes the setups, they can set up as we would expect and as we would like, but sometimes, as trading is a game of probabilities, sometimes they just lose. And that doesn't mean to say it was a bad trade, it just means it was a losing trade, and we move on to the next opportunity. There was a couple of ways that we could have tightened risk on this one. The 8 EMA, after a strong move down, the 8 EMA started to hold it here. So this is a continuation pattern here, just in these two candles here. The red bar finishing on its lows, and then the pin bar as well. So we could have came out for a smaller loss on a break down below this pattern here. That would have been an opportunity and a legitimate way of reducing the risk on the trade. So I hope you found this useful, guys, and I'll speak to you again next week.